I call this meeting November 14th, 2023, Agricultural Commission to order. We'll jump right in. The acceptance of the October 2023 minutes.
Move we accept
You
it
got
as
it?
written.
You got it yesterday?
Yep.
Seconded. Good to me.
Okay.
All right, with motion to accept the October 2023 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, hearing none. Motion passes. Moving on to the treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. So I double checked all the amounts with the accountant's office for the CPA funding that happened. So there is still $3,266.36 in that fund. The donation account has $4,430.72. And the budget, the budget basically has $1,241.72 in it. There is a question that I have for Amy that I didn't get to talk to her about today. It looked like we were missing the September National Grid bill. And then she gave me the amount, which is what I had for August. So I have a feeling that the bills are half month to half, like middle of one month to middle of the next. I think we're just labeling them differently. I think there's three. So I think that amount is okay. It might be off by $16, so. But that's it. And there's still the outstanding item for the Husky tiller blade.
And I have that.
Yeah, which is not to exceed 200, by the way.
Yeah. It
Okay.
didn't- I couldn't, yeah. Way lower than that.
Yep.
And that's from the donation account.
That's from, yes.
Yes, okay.
Oh, but that doesn't include, yeah, what you're going to talk about tonight. So that's what I've got.
All right. Can I get a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Motion?
I move we accept the treasurer's report.
Second. All right, a motion to accept the treasurer's report. Any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to incoming correspondence.
So we got the October National Grid bill for $14.88. We got this nifty internal phone extension list, which I don't have any use for if anybody in the building needs it. I think
I
it's.
have one.
You have one already,
I have
right?
one.
You have
Yeah.
one? Would you like it?
I don't need it.
I will just put it in the file.
I think there's one next to every phone.
Exactly. And then the only other thing that came into the mailbox was the budget package.
When did that come?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
I didn't see one in the.
Didn't you just check the mail?
I did this afternoon.
Should have been in there.
You've been
and
robbed.
There's nothing in there.
Unless somebody else.
Unless somehow MJ got a hold of it,
Yeah.
because it wasn't in there.
Yeah, it
We have a
came out
meeting
yesterday.
Thursday, I'll ask him.
The AgCom emails were all newsletters. And I'm really thinking that they're not sending us anything to agriculture
other
Town
one.
of Berlin anymore. They're sending to individuals instead, which I don't know if
Oh.
it's good or bad, but it
makes-
is.
It makes this conversation shorter.
Exactly. So
Um,
that's kind of all I have.
Cool. In that case, we'll move on to the community garden report.
Okay, I think we're pretty much put to bed for the season. The highway department has blown the lines for the water. We've tilled all the gardens, we've planted the winter crop, and We just have some issues with one of the tillers, which we'll discuss later, and we're ready for 2024.
Awesome job.
You have some bills that you need signatures for?
Yes, I do. Is that what you want to do
Do you want
now?
to do that now, or?
Sure. So, this is the stuff for putting in the new raised bed, where we bought the tank. That was, I got discounts on everything. Tank was $379.99. Thank you, Laura, we have a routine now, getting it over there. The cinder blocks, all the supporting stuff, and the timbers from National Lumber. We put in one new bed, and we raised the last bed that was still on the ground. So now all of the beds, I'm trying to count, I think there's 9 now. Whatever, all of them are raised at this point. There is one low one still that David Smith built for us and donated that is in that area, which we'll eventually replace. But it came in a little over the budget. Why didn't I add anything up here? I had a calculator. I think it's like $26 over. We budgeted $500 for it.
Yeah.
I believe, and I think it came out to like $526. So I guess my first request is to
Do you
vote.
have an exact amount?
I'm going to do that
Okay.
right now because my brain will not do that math at this time of night.
Understood.
Okay. $529.65. So I'm requesting that we take the additional $29.65 from the FY24 budget, which this was, I did this on the FY24 budget.
Yes.
Today's the 14th, correct?
Yes.
I just want to I didn't know when we were going to get to talk about this, so So do we need to make a motion for that? I don't think I can do that, can I?
Someone else can.
I move to pay the full amount from the fiscal year '24 budget. Or do we need to break it out?
I think it's fine.
Okay.
Second?
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion to spend an extra $29.65 from the fiscal year '24 budget on the raised bed recently purchased. So we needed to discuss the motion. Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. All right, motion passes unanimously.
Okay. So I need, James, for you to sign the second page. I'll have Shane start on the first page. We'll sign it first, because I'm not allowed to sign this.
Do we have enough people here to sign?
Yeah,
Okay.
we only need 3.
That's what I thought.
And then I have to write the correct account, I think I did write the correct account number, just double check that, Laura. That's the FY24 account, the warrant amount, or the line, I don't know what the proper term is.
Yeah, that's right.
So then, James, you have to sign there as well. I'll make a copy of that and then throw it in our mailbox tonight. So that was that one. The second one is one of the gardeners was able to locate a tine to replace the tine, and he put it on the Husqvarna, and it was $36.94. It was, of course, this doesn't surprise you. It was $18.99 for the tine and $17.95 for the shipping. And I did check with Amy, and she said that the town does pay shipping.
Okay.
But as we know, we don't pay taxes. So it came out to $36.94. And that was from the donation account. There also were 2 slips for gas that I have for the tillers that I would like included in this for the gardener to reimburse him.
Oh, mileage, you mean, like travel?
No, gasoline for the tillers.
Oh, okay.
It was gasoline that we bought to
Okay,
run the
gotcha,
tillers.
Gotcha.
And so there was one for $10.52 and one for $2.65. So again, the total, because we're well under what we originally did for the tiller. So the whole amount was $50.11.
And we had already voted an amount not to exceed 200 that's been reserved for
A while.
a while.
Yeah. So if we could do all of this from that account so that we can reimburse the gardener. So I don't think I can make the motion.
Well, if you've already voted that,
I
I'll get the
think
money.
we just sign it. Do we need to make a motion? Because
It's already been.
the funds are already
it's
reserved.
Yeah,
discussed,
it was for the
yeah.
tines though, so I didn't know if because we bought the gasoline,
Oh,
if we had to,
We can vote on the 1150 for gas.
Make a motion, to pay for the gas.
1150. Give me a second.
second, sorry.
All right, the motion is to reimburse the $11.50 spent on gas. Any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes unanimously.
I'll fill the rest of the paperwork out on this one, because I wasn't sure if I had to put it into something else. And then I just want you to double check that that's the donation account number. Yep. All right, so same thing, I will at the signing. Perfect, and then I'll have that check cut to him. Did you do the other page?
Oh, yes. So you used to being Carla's job.
Then the last one was just, you didn't talk to Amy today about that $100?
No, I did not.
Okay.
That's on my list for tomorrow.
Okay, so we'll deal with that. I brought the stuff that I knew, this is what I had been reimbursed for that
Yeah,
This
I
was
had
the last
I had
one.
those two in there already.
okay.
I have everything in my spreadsheet. I think it just didn't go through her.
Okay, perfect.
So
I just
I'll-
wanted to bring it just to
Yeah.
confirm that that's what I was able to find.
Yep.
Okay.
I I think that's it.
Excellent.
That's good with that stuff.
All right. Can move on to the Agricultural Commission vacancy. I haven't had a chance to reach out to anybody. I don't know if anyone else has had any conversations with anyone yet.
No, I'm
Or
trying to
since last night.
think if I can get one of the gardeners to,
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that a little last time, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're getting into my off season, so I can start chasing some folks.
I was gonna try and see if I could, I just remembered, I was gonna try and see if I could look Pat Jackson up.
Mm-hmm.
She might wanna come back, but
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, so we can table that until the next meeting.
It was posted though, right? And all of that?
I think Mary published some information about it, but I'll double check on that. Can move on to updating the community garden rules and regulations.
Certainly can. All right, so this, I just figured I'd give you a copy of what went out last year, and I didn't make very many changes, but just so you can compare, try to streamline it, and then just add a few things that I thought needed to be clarified. So if you put them side by side, in the top paragraph, I don't think I changed anything. The top two, that worked really well last year. We got a lot of community donations from people that just donated to the garden. So I tightened the next part up a little bit because I wanted to grab some space. And then I added in the checklist donation only, just to make it clearer to me, because as clear as I try to be on this, things just get weird and I don't know what a person is saying they're doing. So donation only, returning gardener, new gardener, and disabled. And that became important, the disabled part, to keep in there, because what's happening now with the raised beds is that people who are not, like, for a while they weren't popular, now they're really popular, and the people who are 65 and older and disabled should have first shot at it. So I had to make that a bit clearer, which I did further down. And then also the paragraph after that check off about 1 plot per family unless there's a surplus. And because what people were doing was, because I had the line item in the checkoff area around the plots, number of plots, people automatically would put like 2 plots down. And when I realized that wasn't going to work, it made more sense to say 1 plot for family, right down below if you want another one. Don't pay for it until you know you're going to get it. And then in the bold part about raised beds are assigned on a priority basis to gardeners who are 65 plus or disabled. So now they can put in for one, but they're more than likely not going to get one unless they're 65 plus or disabled. I took out the part about number of plots, as you can see, and cleaned that up a little bit. And I think as you go down, everything else is pretty much the same. Signature, people still make checks out to me instead of Town of Berlin, even though it says that right there. I wanted to include a part about people who are non-residents who apply don't send money in. I end up holding the checks sometimes for months.
Months, yeah.
So don't send it in. I still get them. And then what I do is I request payment from them if they get a plot assigned. And then mail the completed check, blah, 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 blah. This Agricultural Commission 2023 should not be there twice, so I'll fix that up. I know I ran through that really quickly. We had talked about raising the fees, and in retrospect, I think I'd like to hold on that another year and really have a discussion of that later. Because in order for this to go out, Eloise wants it in December, and I can't remember if it's early December or late December, but I didn't really think we had enough time at this point to talk about it, get it through the select board for permission, and then get it out to Eloise in a timely manner. So unless anybody has a strong feeling about that, we're doing all right financially. The fees are really low compared to other towns that have community gardens. They're really, really low.
Yeah.
So I can go with this either way. I just think it's something that we need to think about, especially now that the garden has gotten so big. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm ready to be calm for a year. Anything else new going on? I want to just go there and be happy and not worry about stuff. So, anybody notice anything that is unclear or needs?
Just that says 2023 instead of 2024. That's the only thing that I noticed.
Let's fix that right up. Well, the reason that I put 2023 is because we're approving it in 2023.
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. I can do either date, I don't care. It'll go out in 2024, so, because the census usually goes out mid-January.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think I like the idea of holding the prices for one more year, and we can talk about it when we're all slow in the winter months.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will be slow, I'll be
Yeah.
crazy with farmer's market,
Yeah,
but.
I think we can revisit it, and I can come back with exact amounts that other towns. I've looked to see what other towns charge.
I know Hudson's up there.
Yeah, and
Is
they
it?
have small,
They
they're,
have a very small.
I just actually was down there maybe a month ago. I said, I happen to be there, I'm gonna take a look over and check it out. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
it's a huge garden. They
Yeah.
have over 100
Yeah.
beds, but they're small.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 3 by 6 or 3 by 8.
Yeah.
They're,
And the people running it can't get along either, so.
Oh, really?
So,
well,
they still have an outstanding bill with me.
Oh.
no.
The main guy that runs the finances ordered it, and the lady that usually orders it had to meet me down there, so, but we apparently dumped it in the wrong spot today. So I'm like, whatever.
Oh, boy.
So, next year when you guys want compost, gonna have to pay.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're not getting it.
You can have it once you pay last year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll come back with better figures
Okay.
and,
Well, and next gives you a chance to talk to gardeners this year and just give them a heads up that
That's a good point, too.
the we'll probably
Fee structure's
go-
gonna
yeah,
change.
Yeah, we'll have to change the fee schedule, but
Yeah.
if we're not hurting for money right now,
Right.
there's no.
no, everything, we're in
Reason
a
to
really
rush.
good,
We
we're in a
are.
really good place.
Yeah, we really are.
All right.
Do you have a lot of, you don't have a lot of turnover, I would assume most people come back here.
Yeah, I'd say probably over half the people. And now that the apartments are filled, or filling, we're getting more people from River Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have a very good group of people who come from surrounding communities, about 10 of. So we've been full the last couple of years, and this year there were several people that it's like, nope, sorry, I mean, there were people from
Yeah.
surrounding communities. And there may have even been one Berlin Gardner, but they came in so late that it's like, where were you in January when this went out?
Yeah,
You know, you need to, you can't be asking in June for a plot because they're all assigned, they're all assigned by mid-May, so.
Were you able to get the locking system to work?
It's working right now.
Yeah.
People actually figured out how to put the numbers in.
That's good.
I don't know what people were doing. I truly don't know what they were doing. It's like, are you kidding me? But right now, it's okay.
That's good.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to change the combination.
Oh, dear.
And then we're in trouble. In fairness, the way the thing goes is, you know how when you have those barrel locks?
Yeah.
There's 3 places you can see numbers.
Sure.
The number is supposed to be in the middle.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to line it up on the top line, which is the one that is most visible.
Okay.
And when they did that, they couldn't open it.
Right.
Right.
So I told them what the number would be on the top line.
Oh,
So the code was 2002. I said, line up 3113.
yeah.
And I never had a problem after that.
Well, there you go.
Oh, well,
So
that's clever.
it worked. It worked. But I could see it. I could see why people, they wanted to line it up where it was most visible, not on the line that has the little arrows that
Yeah.
say, this is where you line me up.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So it all worked out. We'll see. There'll be a training session next year. That's okay.
Maybe that's a,
Too many
you're in,
things.
you're out.
Very good.
Do we want to vote on accepting these changes?
Sure. I move that we accept them as stated.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the changes made to the community garden application and donation form. Any need to discuss the motion? Hearing none, I'll ask everyone to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. All right, motion passes unanimously.
I do have to work on the regs,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll bring that back in
Okay.
December. But that doesn't
Yeah.
have to go out until, that goes on the website.
That just goes up on the website, so we can update that
Yeah.
anytime. And so that works. Increasing community garden membership fees, we've already discussed that. And on to new business, the 2025 fiscal year budget.
He looks at me. What did I do with it?
Yeah, you have the figures.
So, I think that the key here is that we can't increase any. Is that correct? Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
So we can't do more than 1375 in total. We can reallocate, we can do stuff like that. We could reduce.
Mm-hmm. They'd be very excited.
I'm sure they would.
Our budget isn't really big enough that we can help them too much, though.
I know,
so-
that's just it. That's just it.
We could eliminate the whole budget. It'd still be tight. Yeah, I think spending on any new items that we haven't purchased before, they want to handle separately too, but.
Oh, I didn't catch, like I said, I went through this
Yeah.
really, really quickly.
But it's, I don't think that there's anything that we have on the horizon that would fall into what they're concerned about in regard to that, so that should be pretty straightforward.
I guess my question would be, like, you were talking about we could get rid of the ryegrass,
Yeah, we're happy to continue to donate that.
you know, put that money someplace else.
Because we always have some bags left over. We've already used what we need by the time that the garden's looking to do anything, so. So that works out. So we can. pull
We're
that.
still gonna need compost, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
We probably will need well, we have it in this year's budget, so we're good, because we still have quite a bit left from last year, so we'll probably need about half the amount
Okay.
in this year's budget. So we'll need it again in for, what are we talking, FY '25?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll need it for FY '25.
And is 10 yards enough then?
I am so bad at what that means.
I don't-
In terms of a pile.
I'm only asking.
So I brought, well, did I bring 18 yards, I think, the last time. So you
Okay,
ran, if
and
you
that
still did
was-
half the pile, you get about 9 left.
Yeah, so that was more than enough, so.
Okay,
So probably 10 will do it.
okay. Because at one point we were ordering 20 and then we reduced it to 10, I think. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's based on the cost over time and my notes about how many
Okay.
yards that was and stuff, so.
Yeah, so let's keep it at 10. I'll see what happens with what's there this year. That should take care of.
And the loom, just a heads up, you ordered 6. I wound up bringing 7, but I didn't. I just left it at 6 from the bill one.
I was wondering why there was so much there.
So, kid loading the truck for me, overdid it. And I was like,
So then the other question there is, do the prices stay or are you gonna
the
need to
prices
increase?
I think they'll stay the same.
I mean, I know it's a year from now, but.
Yeah, I think we're right around the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we should be fine that way. I'll make it work either way. So we got it.
All right, so we can leave 300 in for compost and 175 in for loam. The National Grid bill, we obviously need to leave in there. Last full year, we had 200 in, we spent 170 of that. We increased it to 300 this current year that we're in, which we don't know how much. But when I look at month to month, we're actually spending less instead of more this year so far, a little bit. So I think leaving 300 in is probably just to cover any fluctuation. There's $100 in here for soil testing, which, when was
It'll be due. We had it done.
That's what I was trying to remember.
Okay, right here. When it got. No, it might be in my other book. Yeah, it's in my other book. It was not this past spring, the spring before. So 22,
Okay, and how often do we try to do it?
usually every couple of years.
Okay, so we probably want to leave that in.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If it comes back with something askew, how do you fix that? And is there money in the budget for that to fix
Oh,
it?
yeah, we haven't really,
Yeah,
When you do run into an issue,
yeah.
we haven't
So
yet.
it's gonna
so-
cost something.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't yet. Everything's come back pretty decent. And people do their own amendments too, to their soil.
Mhm.
Like I test mine individually
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
so some people do that. Just those little things you can buy. So far, so good. But your dad used to spread lime down there every year too.
Yeah, I know he did.
That hasn't
Yeah.
been done for and I do it, but
yeah,
not everybody does it.
right.
But so far, it's been okay. But excellent question.
Well, I
Yeah.
just, if you're testing for it and something is out of whack, how do we go about fixing it without it being in the budget, I guess is my question.
I guess we go to the donation account.
Yeah, and if that wipes it out, then that's the problem, but yeah.
Mhm.
Then we go to town meeting. Then we go to special town meeting, right?
Yeah, fertilizer.
Have you, in your experience, dealt with anything like that?
I mean, at the very least, it would give you a sense of, I mean, no one's really applying anything crazy down there, so it's mostly just kind of compost
Yeah.
and all that. So, but if all of a sudden like phosphorus went up through the roof or something like that, you'd be able to say, okay, who's
Just fertilize them. All right.
who's lost their mind.
Well, I could name a few down
Yeah,
there.
it's one of those. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have the information, but yeah, it's especially. I mean, we can look and see how much it's changed over the years too, and so. That might be something where if push came to shove, if we needed room in the budget, we could hold off on that.
Push it out a year.
Yeah.
All right, so then I had put in, because I know we talked about having like a general garden supplies fund. So knowing that we were probably going to take the lime away and everything, I had put in a couple hundred for that. And then I also increased the raised bed and peripherals budget to 600, just thinking of inflation.
Perfect.
But I didn't know, whatever there. And then garden cloth and staples for 200. That's sort of separate from the general supplies, I think.
Yeah, well, we need that when we do, what we do is we lay that garden cloth down before we
Under the
put
raised bed.
bed. So we need that for that area.
So, and then the 175 for the loan, so we're at 1875, so we've got $500. Doesn't seem right, but, oh, part of it's because of the soil testing. I'm
We
just
won't
looking at
need,
what
we won't need loam.
At all?
We have, the pile is still pretty big. We only
Okay.
used it to fill one raised bed this year.
Oh, and we also, last year we had 175 for garden cloth and staples, and I put 200 in. So I was looking at inflation, so if we could do that for 175, I don't know.
Yeah, because we still have some of that landscaping cloth left.
Okay.
We need the pins, that's what we go through like crazy.
So we'll take out the 175 for loam and see where that leaves us. So now we're down to 1675. It's still $300, which is the garden supplies, the soil testing, and the extra 100 for the raised bed.
Drop the raised bed to 550 because we bought with that 526 the extra set of timbers
Oh, right.
and the extra cinder blocks. So the timbers, the two timbers would have been $54.
Okay.
And then we also bought the cinder blocks. So we would be pretty close with 550.
Okay. Do we think we can do anything with general, so we're still at 1625. Do we want to bump soil testing out a year?
Yeah, that might make life easier.
What do we have to get to?
1375. So that's 1525.
Okay, so run it through again. What were the
Okay.
items?
So what we've got in here is 300 for compost, 300 for National Grid, which we probably won't spend all of that, but 200 for general garden supplies, 550 for another raised bed, and 175 for garden cloth and staples. That's it.
Okay, you want to drop the general supplies to, I know it's not going to still get to our target, but to 100 because, or you could even take the whole thing out and we could take it out of the donation account.
We could.
Because we're going to be looking by then to have a whole new group coming in and more money going into that donation account.
What if we dropped the general garden supplies down to 50? Then it becomes an item on our budget for future,
Okay,
and that gets us to the 1375, and we just take the rest out of donation.
perfect.
Sound okay?
Yeah, and you'd have some money potentially to play with if, depending what happens with the power bill.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, we're always playing with that at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think we have a balanced budget.
All right.
Yeah, that was easy. And for things that like we buy on a regular basis, that the price has gone up because of inflation, I think that they're flexible on.
Yeah.
And so if we came in with something that was slightly higher than last year because of that, then I think that there's the potential to negotiate, but it's easier, I think, probably just to come in with the same figure.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Do we want to vote on it?
Yeah, do we
or-
want to vote to accept the,
Vote we accept the proposed FY '25 budget request?
I'll
Is that
second it.
proper?
Okay.
all right, we have a motion and a second to accept the fiscal year 25 budget at, what, 1375?
1375 total, yeah. I can get the detail out.
1,325. Any need to discuss the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Motion passes unanimously. The Sue Regera has mentioned that that Sue Roach, there's a lot of Sues involved, is retiring as the town's animal inspector. And so they're hoping to find somebody else who wants to step in and do that. And so, did she talk to you, or was it?
It was Sue Regera who
Yeah.
talked to me.
Yeah, she mentioned it to me too. And so I said that we'd keep our eyes open for anybody who might be interested and might put the bug in the ear of anybody who
There's
seemed
all
like they might be
paperwork on my
good.
desk right now.
Yeah, it's.
Like, but
We
I was
said
talking to Susan.
maybe we can trick Shane into doing it.
You don't want it.
Like, you don't want it. So I'm like, oh boy. So,
It's a
Sounds
whole
like a fun one.
$600 stipend or something like
yeah,
that, isn't it?
yeah, but there's a lot that goes with it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
You have to
Is it
not-
really?
You have to notify the state every, I don't know, I forget, it's like every 60 days of,
Oh, wow.
it's something, it's quite frequent, I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Might be every 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Of rabies information of animals in town that might have had or any contact.
Oh,
all
my
that kind of
goodness.
Stuff.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
There's a whole bunch of stuff. She was at the farm the other day. She's like, I don't think you want to do this. So,
I thought it was just driving around once a year and checking how many do you
Yeah,
have and
yeah.
all of that.
no, it's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
I thought it was that too. I was like, "Ah." So, but,
And that was one thing that Sue Regera Sue Roach had asked about, I think like last winter, was if there's room on the back of the, either the community garden application or any of the stuff that we're sending out in the census, if we wanted to tack on something, just asking for people to give us a head count of animals that they have.
Oh,
Because Clerk's Exodus tracks dogs and sort of cats. If someone volunteers the information on cats, we keep tabs on it, but there's no requirement to give us that, so usually people don't. But we don't check anything with livestock or anything like that. That might be a way to make life a little easier, potentially, for whoever's trying to step into the shoes.
So,
But
talking, because I'm also the field driver, so
yeah,
talking with that group of people back when we were all discussing our duties and whatnot, there's a lot of people that don't want the town to know that they got the animals, so you have to physically
yeah.
find them, you know.
Mhm.
So, I don't know what the
Yeah.
solution is for that, but.
Well, it may be a way to clearly state that it doesn't impact your tax
Right.
burden, and so on and so forth, blah, 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 no requirements beyond just, if we know, we can help
Yeah.
you. If we don't know, then
Yeah.
we're surprised when there's an issue, and it's harder to do anything about
Right.
issues around rabies and things like that, so, but yeah, we can brainstorm that a little bit.
So they're thinking about doing that with the census somehow?
Yeah, we have a limited number of pages that we can throw in before it starts to cost a bit more to send out, so, but we try to max that out to the extent that we can. So if there's some extra room on a sheet somewhere, that's something that we could
Yeah.
just kind of tack on. But,
There is always that sheet that talks about the dog licenses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's a blank back on any of the stuff that we send out with the AgCom. It's.
There was
there
and
was,
wasn't.
Yeah.
The-
And maybe
This
you could-
application at one point had stuff on the back.
Yeah.
And then they took that off and just did the application.
Yeah.
Maybe if you, because we're right to farm community, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
If we made it known, you know, maybe if you
Yeah.
sent it kind of like stating that.
Yeah.
then people don't feel so,
Yeah, like
Yeah.
someone peering
Much
over their shoulder, yeah.
yeah. you
Yeah.
know, if you
Yeah.
Get more,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but, so I know like Carl used to always be like, are we getting, you know, the new people in town getting the notice that we're right to,
I haven't seen one in,
yeah, right.
honestly, since
Yeah.
before the pandemic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I-
right.
They stopped.
I think the way that those were being distributed, or whatever packet they were going out in, changed.
Maybe.
So I don't know if people are necessarily seeing them beforehand anymore.
Well, and I did have a conversation with the assessor's office about that, and they were like, you know, you're asking for people to sign something after the fact when they've already purchased the house. I'm like,
Yeah.
but that's not supposed to be the way it was supposed to be done, you know?
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know. She had made some suggested changes to the form that we had sent out, which I think were fine, but I still haven't seen any coming in.
I can ask about that and see what happened.
But that might be a way to ease people into giving us information
Absolutely,
on
absolutely.
animals instead of,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I were buying a house in town, I would want to know things like that, you know, before I paid the money.
Yeah, and realtors don't always.
Right,
well, they're gonna do whatever they can do to make the sale, they're not gonna.
right.
Yeah, and they might
If they
not
don't
even,
think people wanna know that, they're not gonna.
they might not even know
And
themselves.
I'm pretty sure Carl had filed the form that we came up with the whatever group of realtors, you know,
Yeah.
in the area,
Mhm.
to say, please make this a part of your packet for any residence sold in Berlin. But clearly that's fallen through, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can look into that.
There haven't been any problems so far with that, have there? People-
Not really.
No, we haven't really had to mediate anything since, it's
Like a
the
rooster or
first week I
something, yeah.
joined, I think.
It was like a rooster sometime.
I mean, people they were relaxed about it. That
And
ended.
Kevin and Buddy took care of it, so it was like, you know.
Yeah.
The rooster or the people?
No, the people. they made some really good suggestions, and
Yeah.
I think Buddy did say if it's really a problem, I'll take the rooster, so.
Oh, I can't.
I know. I know.
Like,
Seems glad it didn't end that way.
oh, you know, he's in the hospital when he was sick and stuff, and I'm like, there's 40 roosters in a pen that he's feeding every day. I'm like, what are we doing with these things? Like, you're just taking them?
Apparently.
You know?
That's how we solved other problems in the
Yeah,
past.
yeah. Like, said to my mother, I go, I hope he was getting paid to take these things in.
Yeah.
Quarter bag of layer feed for the roosters. Like, no.
Yeah, so that, I think, covers that. We just have to talk Shane into doing. One more thing. And then farmland of local importance, this was something that you said,
Yeah, I
you
guess.
gotta contact the region.
I guess this guy who actually weirdly is I think it was my husband's best friend growing up. Fell out of, he hasn't been in touch with him since the 7th grade, but all of a sudden he calls and he I thought the name sounded familiar and I didn't know why. But he calls, he's from the USDA, and he wanted to chat about this stuff, and he, saw my name as being the clerk for the AgCom, so was contacting me, and then later said, oh, I noticed your last name. I think that's why he contacted me instead of you. But I guess they have this program of getting, it's all based on soil testing, from what I can see. I don't know if you guys looked at what I sent.
I didn't see it. I mean, I saw it last.
Yeah. That was the just general questions list, and then this is what they sent for the town of Barry, where they have completed this already. So that was like a sample that he sent. And I think it just gets, I don't think it really does anything other than set us up to get more funding for farmland down the road or something like that.
Yeah, I almost wondered if it like streamlined the APR process
I
or something.
kinda wondered that
Because
too.
that's what they go through with that, as well as they look at what soil types you have on the property and determine to what extent they want to try to protect it, but,
And I know he said in an email, he said something about, if we wanted to do this, we let him know, and he could have like the initial step done in like about 3 weeks. And then it's a question of our board or conservation or somebody else. It has to be a municipality that signs off on it with the USDA. And then it moves forward. But I'm looking at it going, well, I don't see that it is harmful, but I keep thinking to myself, what's the catch? So.
Yeah, because they're offering service and
Yeah,
it sounds like to protect the land, but
right.
it sort of seems like a precursor to
Sometimes it's
protecting.
to also regulate the land too.
Exactly. And he says there isn't, but, there is no regulatory
So-
association, but there could be someday.
Yeah, like I was working with, working with NCRS a little bit, trying to fix some of my pastures. And there's guidelines and all this hoops you gotta jump through, and basically you gotta conform to what they want you to do. So, we'll see. It's still in the middle of being whatever.
Yeah.
And they're taking forever to respond to us, so it might go the other way anyways, but.
Yeah, it seems like something to read up on, but I know there's some other kind of similar programs out there too that allow for preservation of farmland through different avenues. That may or may not relate, I don't know. But so I can do some research.
Oh,
Good
I'm
winter
not
project.
connected. That's interesting.
No.
I'm not connected because it's a new laptop. The password isn't in here, that's why. I was gonna try and call up his email and remember what he, read what he said about, there was something in there, like if you have questions or whatever. So I can just,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
ghost
reach out, see.
him, but he may know where I live, so he kind of wanted to hook up, get to.
That sounds like a you problem.
But I could just send him something saying, we're gonna do some research on it or
Yeah,
whatever.
just tell them we're curious. Is there more information you could send?
Yeah. I thought this was a pretty good
That's
start.
a pretty good overview of it, yeah.
Overview, exactly, but yeah. So if anybody wants to look at it and come up with questions,
Said, where's the catch?
I keep
Feel
looking
like
at it
that.
going, all right, if he's picking the person on the board that he kind of knows, then what's the catch,
Yeah.
Well, and Town of Barry did it, or
Yeah,
we could reach out to them and find out.
I have cousins in Barry, and I almost asked already, but
Yeah, bring them and see.
they're busy too, so, I was kind of waiting for the season to die down.
Yeah, we can see what they'd be able to probably explain in terms we
I can-
understand a
I
little
can
bit better
reach out to
than
them, yeah.
NCS might.
I can reach out and see if they even were involved with it at all.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm sure they could tell you who
Exactly.
to contact.
Yeah, because Phil's pretty in with the town, so I think he owns most of the town, so. Property-wise, anyway.
Alright, that concludes the agenda.
I did forget one thing.
Oh.
Of course. The tiller that
Oh.
needs to be looked at.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, Kenny still comes and looks at our equipment. He's with Village Power for a while. And it's just right down the street. And so next time he's floating
Do you want to talk about
around.
that separately?
Yeah, we can just have him look at it though if you want.
Yeah, okay. And then we'll go from there.
Because he's playing with those all the time.
Yeah.
He'd at least be able to tell you whether or not it was going to be a project, but
Yeah,
usually you can just kind of.
it's brand new. I
fix it.
just don't think it was put together correctly.
Yeah.
And there were two of the gardeners and Carl who spent the afternoon putting it together, and it was never right. So the town looked at it,
Yeah.
the highway guys, and
What's its issue?
we tried to start it, my husband and I, the other day, when we were going to till the gardens, started it, and the thing just like backfired like you wouldn't believe. It was bad. So we just shut it down, went home and got our own rototiller and came back and did the rest of the gardens. So it has never run properly, brand new. So, and it had to be assembled. So,
Yeah, they assembled it up at Carl's, I think.
yeah,
And then-
up at
Does that got an
Carl's.
overhead cam and all that on it? Or
Mhm.
does it have the OHV on it?
I don't know.
Side of the
what
motor and all
is.
that? It's
I have no
overhead, it's
idea.
overhead cam valves and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's a
A lot of times
big
your timing.
red Troy-Bilt. It's a toward the big red
A lot of times your timing
is off.
is all, yeah. But you need somebody that can adjust it with all the shims, the correct shims and stuff, so.
Okay. So, yeah, so that's
If
what I was.
If that's what it is, but.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted somebody, I contacted James and said, is there a way for us to get it somewhere to be looked at by someone who does this, to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what's not right? Somebody who does it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, we can,
it's in the shed.
all right, yeah. I'll chat with him and see if he
Okay.
wants to take a crack.
Yeah, and I can, do whatever I need to do to be there or show him how to open the lock.
Alright.
He'll have it in a second.
Yeah.
Not worried
No, I'll
about
find a
that,
way.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we can at least start there.
Right, yeah, because
If
it's a
people are
shame
comfortable
not
with
being
that.
able to use it.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Yeah.
That thing have a warranty on it, or is it a warranty out at this point?
Probably out at this point, because
Yeah,
they put
maybe.
it together last spring.
Yeah,
My
and didn't it, it
Time
was,
is so muddled.
it
Yeah,
was delivered a while before they actually got it up
I
and
remember
running. Yeah.
discussing, trying to put it together.
Yeah. So I would guess that maybe.
Yeah, because the town had it over last winter at the town
Yes,
barn,
yes.
when they looked at it.
Who, or where did it get purchased?
It was Home Depot.
Home Depot?
It was an anonymous donor, so we don't, only Carl knows who
Mm.
donated it. And then it just had to be assembled and, they followed the directions as best
Yep.
they could.
Hey, can't blame people for donating time and effort.
No, no, and there are people who, they're not, they run equipment and stuff, they just don't necessarily know how to put it together.
Right.
So, all right, so we'll talk about that, and so you'll see him at some point, and,
Yeah, he's in usually every other week or so.
okay, and then we can go from there.
We break stuff frequently.
Had a nice tiller down at the garden.
No, he was really excited last year when we told him we wanted to swap out the clutch in one of the tractors. And I think we almost lost him.
Oh.
So does he just kind of work on the side now?
Yeah, we bring him in to just work on machinery still for us, so. But, because we
I
miss
miss
having.
that place.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, we do too. It's just, we drive half a tractor in there a few times.
Do you guys use the building for anything?
Yeah, he's working in there on stuff for us, and then we store.
So it's still a shop?
Yeah, we store some equipment and things like that in there, so, yeah, it's set up to just work on all the equipment, so. But, 'cause otherwise, it's outside. Or under
Yeah.
a lean-to, which isn't really quite the same
Yeah.
thing, so. But, yeah, it was nice when you could just drive in the back. It's not working right.
So shall I move that we
Adjourn the meeting?
Adjourn.
Adjourn. Yeah.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes unanimously.